Hello, and thanks again for clicking on my video. If you like the contents I'm putting out, please subscribe. That really helps me out. And let's get started. So today we're going to continue our practice questions for the AWS Machine Learning certifications. Question number 4. You're developing machine learning model on AWS using SageMaker for the critical healthcare application. Here, security and privacy is most important. How do you do that? Do you use Lambda? Do you use SageMaker Ground Truth, CloudWatch, or key management? I guess I should have hidden the answer. Anyway, pause the video, see if you can figure it out, and I will give you an explain the answer in just a second. So here, if you look at the options, Lambda really doesn't have a whole lot to do with privacy or security. It's just another way of having code run on AWS. It almost doesn't have a whole lot to do with machine learning anyway. SageMaker is the main platform for all the deep learning stuff that you do on AWS. Ground truth is basically a way to get feedback from the human to label data so that the computer knows what the correct answer is to begin with when you were training it. CloudWatch is just the monitoring piece on AWS, so it doesn't really have anything to do with privacy or security. The last one is indirectly related to security. It's key management service. That means you can protect your data with keys that is stored in AWS in this service, key management service. Sometimes you can do it in an automated way. Basically, your application grabs the key from AWS and uses that key to get to the data that it needs to work on. A human can't get there because it doesn't have the key, right? But the code can. So that's the way. That's one way to protect your data when you're doing machine learning. So the answer is D. Question number 5. You're building a machine learning model for a financial institution, and basically here they're talking about fraud detection. So quickly, you're supposed to figure out if it's fraud or not in milliseconds. It's a real-time thing, right? That's the key part of this question. So what do you use? Do you use AWS Glue, Kinesis Data Analytics, S3, or data pipeline? So if you look at the answers, so Glue is really is ETL platform. It's for data to be managed in it's like a data warehouse thing, right? So it doesn't really have anything to do with real time. It's really slow stuff. S3 is a storage service for files and whatnot. Again, it's slow and it has nothing to do with real time. Data pipeline is basically the data goes through different phases. In most cases it's slow. It's not real time at all. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't really work. Kinesis, on the other hand, is supposed to be for streaming. That's this whole idea. So if you're doing data analytics with Kinesis, that means you're doing it in real time. That's why the answer here is B, Kinesis Data M Analytics. Question number 6. You're working on a natural language processing project using AWS SageMaker. Your project requires training a custom NLP model, that's natural language. Which SageMaker feature should you use to optimize the training process and select the best hyperparameters? That's the key word here, automatically. Hyperparameters in a model are parameters that doesn't impact the actual model itself. It's more about the processing of the model, training of the model. It's more like a metadata kind of thing. It's kind of on top of the model itself, right? Those are tuned by machine learning experts so that your model works better and faster and whatnot, right? That's the whole idea. And a lot of times it's done by humans, sometimes it's automated, so on and so forth. So in this case, pause the video if you don't want to look at the answer, and I'll give you the answer in just a second. So answer here is SageMaker's feature called automatic model tuning. One thing good about AWS is it tries to give the features and the product's name as what it does. In this case, it almost doesn't even feel like a product name, but it is because it's so naturally chosen name. Notebooks is like Jupyter. It doesn't help you with hyperparameters at all. Ground truth, like I mentioned earlier, it is about labeling data by humans so that the model knows when it's being trained what the answer is in the first place. Debugger is what it says is basically to step through the model to see where it might be going wrong. Automatic model tuning is basically all about hyperparameters. If you're tuning the model itself, it's like if we're looking at a car, right? It's not the engine stuff; it's the stuff outside the engine. It's things that makes the journey better, that kind of thing. So, anyway, those are the 3 questions we covered today. I hope you found this useful, and I will see you in the next video.